Hello, everybody. Welcome back to another episode of Geeks and Degenerates on the road to Battinson. We have to make this essential stop, and wow, what an episode this is going to be. We have a guest. We have Seb from Slurrp Media, and as always, I'm with John. And you've seen from the thumbnail and the title, we're doing Batman and Robin. Yippee!
Finally, Schumacher's golden.
Do you see my face ready as fuck to do this? I'm so ready to do this again!
So, we do know that Joe Schumacher is directing this, and they replaced Val Kilmer with George Clooney because Kilmer is difficult to work with. And also,
Understandable.
also receiving top billing for his payment of $25 million is Arnold Schwarzenegger as Mr. Freeze.
This man got $25 million for this movie.
Yes.
Man, Arnold made bank for so much
Yeah.
shit.
And this was
Holy
90s. This was
That's
90s money.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I know. He was making Johnny Depp cash.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
Like
think
Johnny Depp at his peak cash, you know?
because at this point, I think Clooney was only known for ER, and Chris O'Donnell's known for that one movie with Al Pacino, and that's
Really? Ocean's didn't come out
The
yet?
blind Al Pacino movie?
Yeah.
Okay.
Ocean's
Scent
didn't
of
come
a
out yet?
Woman.
No, Oceans came out like years later. But yeah, if you're watching this, you know how much of a stain this was on the superhero genre, and then Warner Bros. Like, fuck this, we're not doing this again. So, first things first, did you see this as a
After
kid?
wins.
And what do you think of it?
I'll go first, since for sure Sam has an entire autobiography on this fucking movie. I saw this as a kid. I saw it with my brother. Again, all the Batman movies, like Val Kilmer, Keaton's, and especially George Clooney's, which was his favorite. I watched this shit ton back in the day. I didn't understand anything. I just saw pretty colors and fight scenes and men in nipple suits. And I'm like, you know what? This is actually kind of fun. Not gonna lie. And then as I grew up, I didn't watch it within my teens. Like, all I heard was in Watch Mojo, like, this is the worst Batman or worst superhero movie ever. I was like, I don't remember it being that bad. And then I rewatched it because Seb gave us the whole entire spiel earlier last year. I was like, he has a point. I don't know what the fuck Watch Mojo is going on about, saying that this is actually the worst one. Or, I don't know. I don't see it as a bad movie. Like, if you like Lego Batman, you cannot say you don't like this. I gotta lie. But yeah, that's my entire thing.
Yeah, well, like John, I was a kid and I like pretty colors, and seeing Batman and Robin yabba dabba doing Down the Dinosaur, I'm like, I'm sold. And I liked this movie as a kid. Even after seeing The Dark Knight Rises, I'm like, yeah, I remember liking this. But like as time went on and I, explored comics and watched some, other videos, like, oh, I think I see what Batman is supposed to be in a lot of popular guises. Like, I have my own version of Batman, so do we. But like, this movie's gone up and down, especially like, is it really that bad? Not really. Like, I can think of several ones that are pretty bad. Like, say, Steel, I'm like, Steel could be... Steel's more unforgivable, because it has nothing to do with the character at all.
I'll say Daredevil as well.
You know what? Steel was great. Steel was fucking great.
Is this another movie we have to watch and be like,
I'm not as passionate about Steel as I am about Dark Knight Returns. But when you see Shaquille O'Neal in a full-on, I am literally Iron Man outfit, trying to free throw a grenade into a tiny hole near the ceiling, that is not a bad time ever. I saw that he still couldn't make it. It's a really funny Shaquille O'Neal movie. It's trying to say.
I am G to watch this as a party one day.
But yeah, fair to say I have mixed history with this movie, but you know what? That's what we're here for, to talk about this.
I'm so scared.
Wait, is it my shit now?
Yeah.
Do I have?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
So I watched this movie as a kid, and I loved it because like this is like Clooney's my first Batman. Because I couldn't help but be born in 1994, so this was like the '90s kid Batman movie. We didn't have Keaton because I wasn't born in '89, nor were my parents particularly fond of superhero things in '89.
Hmm.
So they never really introduced it to me, but they introduced Clooney because Mom has a huge crush on Clooney. But like, I watched this movie, and as a kid, I was like, "This is my shit." I probably had a shit ton of Batman toys from this era.
Same here.
But, yeah. As a kid, I really loved it. Did I understand the story? Not truly, but like, there's enough like building blocks there for you to generally understand. But as an adult, this movie gained the reputation for being the worst Batman. And you know how it is when you're teenagers, you're just looking for things to be mad at. So like, I was like theoretically mad at it for a bit, but then when it came into like my phase as an adult where I was like, you know what, everything I stand for means nothing. Let me see everything I've stood against all my life, right? Like, let me break every single principle I've ever stood by. And I watched Batman and Robin, and I was like, this is the best movie of all time. Like, I understand that the Dark Knight trilogy was profound, and meaningful. But don't tell me this isn't 2 hours of pure laughter and joy. Fucking don't tell me this isn't the funniest thing you've ever seen in your life. We will elaborate later, because I will not fucking bombard you with the monologue just yet. But we're gonna get there as we get through the fucking podcast, because this is your fucking podcast and you're in control.
I feel like Enzo's like so overwhelmed that he can't control it. Do we stop him? We're already 3 hours in.
And let me tell you another thing.
But yeah, there are impressive things about this movie, like say the fact that our Schwarzenegger's suit is like 500 individual pieces of a practical effect, and that's impressive. The fact that Gotham itself is a actual set is impressive. And like what we mentioned in Batman Forever, there are moments where like I think Schumacher does know how to do serious, dramatic scenes when it counts. Because he already has a background of that. Because he directed a few serious movies in the 90s, and he already did, years later, he did a few episodes of House of Cards. So he does know how to make dark and gritty role or movie. But that being said, personally, I like it when Batman's comedy is more like Leslie Nielsen in Top Gun or Airplane, the serious actor. Like, how much of a doofus are you that you can't have fun in the situation? Like in Lego Batman. But in this comedy, I'm like, what's this stand for? Why does Batman have roller skates? I mean, ice blades?
Dude, you know what's the stupidest thing? Remember that like auction scene?
Yeah.
Where they're like, "Oh, I'll take the tulip. I'll take the rose or some shit like that." And then Ivy pops in, and then this is where Batman just reveals his entire identity. He was like $2 million. If I was in the crowd, I'd be like, "Why does Batman?"
Bruce Wayne.
Wayne? What the fuck?
This fucker just dropped $2 million for a one-night date with a bitch who wasn't part of the menu.
I was like, yeah, that's straight up Bruce Wayne right there. Like, I love how Robin's like, how are you even gonna pay for that? Look, back car.
I like how Robin's like, I'll pay for it with your money. I'm like, what? Really, Robin?
Dad.
Pay for this girl for me.
Also,
I
you know,
want my date.
the first choice for Mr. Freeze was not Schwarzenegger, but Anthony Hopkins. Because he was fresh
That
from...
would have not been bad.
Dude, that would have been so sick.
I would actually, okay. I think it would not have gone so. It would have been like how Tommy Lee Jones was as Two-Face. I feel like it would have gone that road. Like, it would be kind of a waste if you put him in kind of a jokey kind of Mr. Freeze.
Yeah.
But like, I would like to see him as Mr. Freeze, but like more serious role, maybe in Battinson's.
Bro,
Yeah.
I have such little apprehension for Tommy Lee Jones as Two-Face. He was by no means a lawyer, but you gotta admit, some of the best acting Tommy Lee Jones has ever done.
Okay, not gonna lie, he did have fun.
Like, was he our Harvey Dent, or was he Harvey Dent as we knew him in the modern age? Far from it. But if you look at every single one of Tommy Lee Jones's role, and you look at this one, legit some of the best acting he's ever done.
I love that scene where he's like, "Country first, pull back, race."
That was fucking great.
Also, I forgot to mention this in Batman Forever. I love the fact that Batman goes to court in his batsuit as a witness. Like, sure.
He did! He fucking
Like, sure.
Yeah, and that's when he like jumped in front of the acid.
Yeah. Anyway, speaking of plots and storylines, plot is Batman against Mr. Freeze as he's trying to collect diamonds, because the diamonds will connect from satellites in the Congo to Earth. I don't know. I don't
And
know.
he converts diamonds into ice.
I don't know.
Is it because he's trying to cure his wife and diamonds are a girl's best friend? I love this movie.
And yeah,
I love this movie.
as you mentioned before, the action scenes are absurd. You're like, they're not bad, but they're something out of this world, that's for sure.
Dude, not gonna lie. Like, George Clooney had really good choreography here. Well, whoever was stunt double who did the choreography, they were really good. Like, all the spinning back kicks, all the, push
Live
kicks and
action,
shit.
best
Yeah.
live action Batman fight choreo. Until you reach Batfleck. Genuinely better fight scenes than the Christian Bale ones.
Oh yeah.
And also the stunt people were better.
True.
Infinitely better.
I will disagree with the best, because I would say Val Kilmer's was way better because they didn't cut as much in Val
okay.
Kilmer's. But here is still good. Like I think they still got the same choreographer for this one. It feels like it, and
Okay.
they did an amazing job.
Fair. I don't know Kilmer's as much as I know this, but like I've seen all the Keatons, I've seen all the Bales. Definitely better than the Bale stiff.
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 No, the thing I liked about this one was compared to Val Kilmer's Batman Forever was Batman Forever. Batman sometimes. Batman Forever didn't know what it wanted to be. Like, it wanted to be a serious movie, but then we had like the villains who were over the top and kind of like they belong in this movie. While this movie knew what it was like off the get go. Like it just wanted to be that the entire way, and it did it so fucking well. This is why I kind of like this a little bit more than Val Kilmer's.
Speaking of the action, this is one of the first movies that use CGI in place of characters.
Especially that snowboarding shit.
Yeah, obviously they didn't drop poor George Clooney from that height. But yeah,
Batman and Robin walked so that Sam Raimi's Spider-Man could run. Is what you're trying to say. You saw those scenes of like CGI mixed in with Spider-Man and Green Goblin and Doc Ock and shit. Yeah, you know why that happened? Because of Joel fucking Schumacher. Ka-chow, he is speed, so ahead of his time that the world hated him for it. Go on.
Yeah. Speaking of the villains, since this movie didn't do so well, that canceled out the sequel, which would have seen every single villain from past Batman movies return, including Joel Schumacher really wanted to add Nick Cage to the sequel for this as Scarecrow.
It's super. Oh
my god! That would have been amazing. A, B, C, D, E! Oh god.
That would have been such a waste of opportunity.
Yeah.
If it came out like now, and everybody knew that this was not gonna be like a a serious Batman. This would have worked so well. I swear.
But yeah,
If they would have marketed it as a comedy, it would have
Mhm.
been like the greatest live-action Batman comedy of all time.
Yes.
That's the only downside with this movie. They marketed it as something to take seriously.
Yeah.
uh,
That's the only flaw.
going, going back to Batman, I do like how every single Batman has their iconic "I'm Batman" line, and then Clooney's just like, "Hi, Freeze, I'm Batman." It's like, oh,
I
okay,
freeze. I'm back. Clooney doesn't even change his voice.
yeah.
Like everybody does, like Val Kilmer to Keaton, even in the future with Christian Bale. Like, nah, here you just stick with the voice.
Okay,
Yeah.
so tell me, how did Adam West change his voice again when he was Batman?
Right, I forgot about him.
Tell me how the mayor from Family Guy adjusted his voice when he was Batman. Tell me. I need an acceptable reason. I deserve an explanation.
I mean, he just was like, "Oh, I'm a guy in a bat suit." Sure, it's the '60s. Why not?
That's Tony Gonzaga's start.
Seb, I'm sorry.
But yeah, we also find out that Alfred's sick with McGregor's disease, which I googled a few days ago. I'm like, oh, it's a DC
It's a comic
exclusive.
book. Yeah, it's DC cancer.
Yeah,
he broke his leg in a fight with Dustin Poirier. So he's just dying from his broken leg.
This was actually kind of the sad part of the movie. Like, this is where the movie kind of dips to like a more serious tone.
Mhm.
No,
When-
you want to know. You want me to give you guys a summary of what this movie was trying to deliver in terms of the drama, and
No.
to make you guys like mind blown because this has never been a thing since. All right, so Batman and Robin, the main plot within the drama portion of it is the struggle between Batman and Robin as partners. That's why it's called Batman and Robin, and how Robin is adjusting to this new thing of being with Bruce Wayne as a partner and also being a person who is made to feel like a subordinate. Bruce Wayne is not fundamentally trusting, so he doesn't leave a lot of shit up to Robin's judgment. And Robin, to his knowledge, was from the Batman Forever movie. He was under the impression that they would be equal in this, but he's not. So that's the main struggle.
Mhm.
And this is a struggle overall for Bruce Wayne to be letting go of something, or for his desire to maintain control. And then he encounters another conflict wherein Alfred is dying and he can't control that either. So, like, the lesson to be learned for Batman here is to trust in the family he's created for himself. And also getting over the fact that he's lost family before and now readjusting to the fact that he has family now all around him. And they're either relying on him or they're just trying to show them that that they care. So that's the trauma portion of all of this. Everything else is a meme.
Mhm.
Oh, but I gotta say, it is fucking sad to see Alfred Pennyworth just slowly like going. I'm like,
Yeah.
oh no.
You know what's sadder? You know what's sadder than seeing Alfred Pennyworth slowly going? You are seeing so many pizza deliveries canceled.
Oh.
In this movie, at least 2. Right? Like, I don't even think this is the first time he's canceled multiple pizza deliveries in one movie.
Mm.
Like, God. The Domino's guys must be pissed every time they have to go to Wayne Manor.
No, the fact that Bruce Wayne orders from Domino's and not from like some fancy ass Italian restaurant.
My mom and dad used to take me to Domino's every time we would go to the opera.
And to get shot.
And then they got shot because they asked him to go down Crime Alley.
Why couldn't they leave via the main entrance?
I don't know.
No one
Like-
would have killed them at the main entrance.
Like, we don't leave the movie theater going out the fire like exit.
I don't know.
Remember-
It's like they wanted to die, dude.
I guess so.
You can't be the richest people in the city going down some sketchy alley without being armed. What kind of... You know what? I'm not gonna go there. I'll go there later. But like,
Also, why were they asking, like, they don't have a driver or a valet?
I guess the only logical explanation I have is like maybe they didn't want to get swarmed
Oh.
by paparazzi.
I remember the reason for this though. I don't know this at canon, but the reason for this in Earth 1 by that terrible person, Jeff Johns, he wrote that the reason that they didn't bring a driver or Alfred, who could have protected them, because you know Alfred is not just a butler but SAS. It was because Thomas was spending a lot of time on work, and this was kind of like their only opportunity to have a normal night as a family. So they decided not to bring any protection along or any butlers or anything like that. They just wanted to spend the night as a family. But you know, their son's a little bitch.
It'll be scary.
And couldn't handle the opera. But like, well, in the comics they were watching Zorro.
Yeah.
So, it was different. At least in the Dark Knight, it was very different, and in the comics, it was very different. So, there are a lot of different ways to interpret this, but like at the end of the day, like the reason for the lack of protection was probably because they wanted to just spend the night as a family.
Also, this is like the first Batman movie that Bruce barely dwells on
His
his
parents.
family dying. Like, sure, you get the scene where like it was after the funeral, but that was it.
Yeah.
Like him tripping as a kid, and then Alfred's like, "Oh, you little shit, get up."
So he says, "Alfred, I sprained my ankle." Then Alfred says, "I don't believe you. Get up."
Shit.
We'll get to that story when we get to that story.
Yeah, so, going back to the villains a bit, we forgot to touch on Uma Thurman as Poison Ivy and Bane.
I'm sorry, man.
I love Bane so much in this movie.
Bomb.
Dude, he had like 32 bombs, right? He's just like, bomb, times 32! He did that 32 times! He has no cognitive, like, ability to, like, retain what he just did or saw. Because he has to... I'm planting a bomb. Just fucking sticking them like dildos to the floor, because this is how bombs work. Why were they all shaped like fucking stalactites or stalagmites or whatever?
I don't know.
Stalagmite's correct.
Why couldn't they, like, just...
Be like a bomb.
Yeah, why couldn't you just shape them like ice bombs or something? Why did they have to be phallic?
Well, you know how...
They needed to make more action figures.
Yeah, Freeze... You know, Mr. Freeze is kind of like, you know, extravagant here in this movie.
Yeah, that is an interesting point, because Joel Schumacher said the mandate from Warner Brothers is, please make this more toyetic, which means more toys.
Yeah.
So are you telling me this is the fault of Grant Uehara again?
Probably.
Hamada? What? Wait, what's his name?
I forgot. Once again, Warner Brothers like, no, we want this. Like, oh, fine.
Yeah. Yeah, this is like probably the second time Joel Schumacher couldn't do what he wanted to.
Yeah, because as we mentioned before, originally he wanted to do Year One. And
Yeah.
much more darker tone, but...
And we
WB
saw from Batman Forever that, like, oh shit, he could actually do it.
Yeah! And
yeah, go on.
sorry, WB's like, no, we won't have that. Because Batman Returns was too traumatizing for the kids, so we need more Happy Meals and action figures.
God. I swear to God, the origin for Poison Ivy, though, was the funniest shit for me because of the scientist. Jason was his name?
That was funny as shit.
I swear, no, he
I'm
did
afraid
that.
you have to die!
No, he said, I'm afraid you have to die. It was exactly like that. And I laughed the shit every time. Like, I kept rewinding that scene. I was like, is this real?
You know, Ivy was wearing thick enough clothes that I thought her back full on pierced through the table. Ivy, when she was being pushed back,
Mhm.
like right there's a table behind her. I thought when I was a kid her back was like split in half or something. It's
Oh,
like it's so deep into her back that I thought she pierced through the table.
oh,
But yeah, this scene was actually stuck in my brain for probably a decade. Like I thought she actually split her back, but like I love how no one freaked out from the fact that like killing her with all these chemicals, you know, created a crater in the floor, and they're like, that's normal.
Yeah.
It's fine. It's fine. It's normal.
Yeah.
They did a great job of making her look unattractive though. Like she wasn't ugly, but like, you know, like as compared to like I guess Chloe Moretz's Annie. Wait, no, not Annie. What's her name again? The bitch with the blood.
Carrie.
Carrie. Yeah. Like they did a bad job of making Chloe Moretz like look like really ugly in Carrie, but they did a really good job of making like it feel like there was a transformation between Ivy, what's her name, to Poison Ivy.
yeah.
You know?
And dude, you gotta love. Yeah, go ahead.
No, go ahead. I'm gonna say something about Uma Thurman after you.
Okay. But I gotta love how extra Uma Thurman was here, and every time she was on, every time she would pop up again and again, it would always be a different outfit. I'm like, damn, you didn't even have like the same outfit like twice. Jesus Christ.
You know what? This movie would have not done bad at all if they just removed the nipples. Like I think a lot of like the sourcing of how many people found this movie bad was the fact that they added nipples to all of the suits.
Yeah.
But like it doesn't
Especially the
look
girl
bad
bat
if
suit.
you. I mean, the girl bat suit is honestly not as bad as the Nightwing suit.
Yeah.
Mm.
Like it's so prominent. Like it's kind of weird.
The Nightwing suit has areolas.
Yeah, it does.
It's like you added detail to the. You wanted it to really look like, you know those blank action figures, where you're just trying to get anatomy right.
Ah, yes.
Yeah. It looked like that. Like we don't need that much detail on this, but here you are. I guess you just needed to have the action figures companies have an easy time.
Going back to Uma Thurman for a bit, I should have done further research onto like, is it me or is it like every time someone wins an Academy Award the following year they do some really campy role? Like Tommy Lee Jones won his award and then he did Two-Face. Uma Thurman won hers and then she did this. Halle Berry won hers and then she did Catwoman. And then Andy Redmayne won his and he did Jupiter's Ending. Like, this is a weird trend.
Every star has to follow some.
I guess. And from all of them, only Halle Berry was brave enough to accept her own Razzie. So there we go.
Hey.
What a good sport.
Oh no, it's kind of like
Yeah. Playing
like a
into the
Chad
joke.
move.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, but yeah, Uma Thurman, I was supposed to have this something else here. I'm like, she looks great, but like acting was, I'm like, oh wow, this is really over top. This is very 90s.
Oh yeah. But I mean, I liked it, man. I liked
Yeah.
it.
Uma Thurman's Poison Ivy was what made me go like, women are hot.
Mhm.
Like I'm sure Uma Thurman was part of a lot of people's puberty phase.
I
I
would
mean,
say
I was
so.
a lot younger than a person who would be hitting puberty at this time, but she was hot as shit. Objectively, the hottest, well, like, to me, in my opinion, the hottest Uma Thurman's ever been in a movie. Not saying Uma Thurman isn't attractive, she is, but like, her Ivy was sexy as thick.
I swear, like, I got aroused when she just took off the fucking gorilla suit. I'm like,
Right.
and nobody can do that. Taking off a gorilla suit and boom.
You know what? This movie is the best movie of all time. I will elaborate on so many things later, but like, fuck.
Yeah.
Such a good movie.
It is a good one.
And we also get another addition to the Batman family, which is Batgirl, which you mentioned earlier, which the studios have never touched again with a 10-foot pole till this year.
Also, like, a very weird. They kind of played around with the story of Barbara.
Yeah.
Now she is Barbara Pennyworth instead of Barbara Gordon.
I thought she was just. I thought Alfred was her uncle.
Uncle. Yeah.
Yeah.
So you came from her.
Oh,
Alfred's
his
brother.
bloodline. Yeah, right.
Yeah. Also, weird thing. Alfred's bloodline is just a bloodline full of butlers who are like working for really rich people, and he has a picture of his brother's wife on his desk as well. I'm like, okay,
I mean,
why?
Cold motherfucker. He a cold motherfucker.
Are you sure Barbara isn't your daughter?
yeah. The bad girl suit looks pretty good. Except for at least when she's not with a cowl, like with just a straight mask. I'm like, that looks good.
Yeah, not bad.
The one with the extra mask on top, the cowl,
Yeah.
was hilarious. It was funny as shit.
I know. I love how she just takes it off.
She kind of just full on looks like. Honestly, I think a lot of people would have been like, "This is what I want the Green Goblin to look like."
I think the scene that gets me the most is towards the end. Batman's in peril, and Batgirl just turns to around like, "What do we do? Pray, like pray? Really, Robin?"
You gotta hit that Christian demographic, you know.
I also love how Batman, after rescuing the scientists, just leaves them on the edge of the cliff, like, bye.
No, he was so stupid because he was like, "You guys all right? Yeah." But they're like hanging on the telescope.
And just leaves them near the edge, like, we're gonna freeze.
They even show us like him rescuing them.
And, oh my
or
god, I
getting
think
them off it.
this Batman movie has the highest body count from Freeze by himself. Because Freeze just kills a shit ton of people and Batman just runs away and Gordon's like, "Can I have help with these people, please? Batman? Fuck. Oh, fine, fuck you."
I'm just saying, the whole pheromone thing works way better here than fucking Black Widow.
God damn it.
Works way fucking better here than Black Widow. Because when you...
I have a question. Does he have to blow a kiss, or can she just go all the time?
I don't know, maybe it's on her hand.
Can you imagine if instead of being all sexual about it, she just goes...
She just shakes it. She lets the spores like trickle down onto like, the ballroom.
Oh, God.
Are we missing any other fantastical sequences? Because we already mentioned ice skating in the last bit.
Yes, definitely the hockey match between the
Oh,
Phantasms, Batman and Robin.
Yeah. Oh, that was such a good. Hey, that's where one of the greatest choreographies I've seen from this movie comes from. Like, they're on slippery ice and trying to keep balance while he's doing a spin kick.
Are we at the part where I'm just gonna go off?
Yes, pretty
Okay.
much.
Sure.
Alright, so this is one of the greatest Batman movies of all time. Not because it's the most serious Batman movie, I'll still give that to the Dark Knight trilogy, sure. It's the most profound. But don't tell me a man in a giant rubber suit pretending to be a bat isn't fucking hilarious! Okay? I mean, alright, the nipples were over the top. But if we can't make fun of this man with billions of dollars and nothing to do with it but beating up mentally ill people and some crazy fuckers who are just trying to make some cash to rescue his wife, I don't... He's fucking crazy, bro. I don't understand why we should take this motherfucker seriously. Alright? This makes no fucking sense. He's a furry in leather, alright?
He's a leathery.
You know who his greatest love interest is? A bitch in a cat suit. Alright? Alright? A bitch in a cat suit with like the tendency to act like a crow. Cause she steals shiny shit. Alright? He didn't fall in love with her as Bruce Wayne. No, he fucking did it. He's like, I'm in my rubber bat suit, falls in love with the girl in the fucking cat suit. You know why I love her? It's cause we're both athletic and we both like dressing like animals. Don't tell me I can't make fun of this guy, okay? And don't tell me this movie isn't fucking great. If you don't think Batman Yappa Dabba doing off a fucking long-necked dinosaur isn't fucking hilarious, you can't tell me that's not fucking great, okay? And motherfucker, he fucking Mr. Freeze Zambonis the shit out of the fucking museum floor, right? And they're like, oh no, we gotta get that thing, that fucking diamond from Freeze, right? And then like they run into the fucking phantasms. Don't fucking tell me that's not the Phantasm. They all fucking look like the Phantasm. Or fucking Casey Jones from fucking Ninja Turtles. Those motherfuckers, right? Those one-dimensional motherfuckers who never matter. So they get into a fight with them, right? And then at some point they trip onto their backs, right? And they're like, nah, Batman, what are we gonna do? So they monkey flip these motherfuckers, so now they have their sharp hockey sticks. Also, Freeze had enough money to employ these guys. Where? No one ever thought about this. He has goons. Why does he have goons? He also has a whole ass building. No one's ever addressed why this guy's so loaded, but still looking for shit to save his wife. And, alright, so they monkey flip, right? They monkey flip the two fucking phantasms, and you know what they do? You know what they do? They're prepared for this shit, motherfucker. They don't even need the ice suits. They fucking Dorothy their heels together, they click them heels together, and out come ice skates? Bat ice skates? Right? And no, you think they just beat the shit out of the Phantasm, right? You think they're gonna beat the shit out of the They play hockey with them! They play hockey with them! On a Zamboni museum, just fucking smooth ice on the floor, smooth enough to skate in, apparently. You know what keeps the value of diamond up? Its purity and its clarity. If it's going through fucking ice, like, you know what happens to what? Human chest? When it goes through Zamboni'd ice? Watch Blades of Glory, you're gonna find out. So, like, they're beating the shit out of this diamond, right? And fucking, it gets hockeyed, like, hockey past the fucking Freeze.
Oh my god.
There's so many good parts about this movie. Alright, I'm gonna name a fucking another one, right? Alright. The MCU was not the first movie to cross over other shit, alright? Batman in the opening of this movie says this is why Superman works alone when Robin asks for a car from his billionaire sugar daddy papa. Alright? Like, he's like, I want a car, and he's like, this is why Superman works alone. And you're just like, Superman! Superman! He said Superman! He said Superman! So Superman is in this universe somewhere, and Batman knows him fucking personally. First sign of a connected DC universe, right? MCU didn't do that shit. They were all like, oh, we're the Fantastic Four. On another studio, you're like, oh, we're Iron Man. And then on the Fox, you see like, we're X-Men, Black Leather. And you saw no fucking crossover between any of these motherfuckers until like 2008. And then like, then you see, fuck. The first live-action Nightwing of all time. Don't tell me that's not Nightwing. Batman Forever, he was definitely Robin, but this is Nightwing. Alright? Let's move on. The Bat credit card. The Bat credit card. The Batman credit card. Guess the name on this credit card. With like, at least $2 million in its balance.
How?
Right?
How?
It says, Batman, valid through forever.
No, I'm sorry, but like, just to get him a valid credit card that says Batman and to be.
My man's walked into a Swiss bank, and the bank was like, "This is more than sufficient to start an account with us, sir. What would you like the account to be? What would you the name on the account to be? And can you give us a valid ID? And Batman probably does that thing from like bench warmers, right? Where he hands her a piece of paper.
Mm-hmm.
It says, "I am Batman," and it's like, "This is my ID."
Yeah.
Right? And this bitch is like, "You know what? Good enough for me. Fuck."
No, like the girl just doesn't even like look up and like just see a dude in a bat suit. I'm like, okay, I know what to name it.
You are. It says, "I am Batman" on this piece of paper written in green crayon. And then she's just like, "This is good enough. This is good enough. In fact, I trust you so much. This card will never expire, valid through forever." And he uses this to get a one-night date with Poison Ivy. You know how she reveals herself? She sexually strip teases herself out of a fucking gorilla suit. It's a fucking gorilla suit, right? It's just a ara of like fucking Batman movies, right? He's like, let me just make this work for every community possible, right? Yeah, furries like that shit. Yeah, and the vegans, right? He's like, come on, because I'm a plant lady, like all organic, no fucking, it's just fucking. It's everyone, man. It's everyone. This movie was for every fucking one. All right, now you know how Poison Ivy's just like, I got a toxic kiss, mwah, mwah, choop choop, right? She kisses Robin, right? And you think, oh, I got Robin at the palm of my hands because she's just some dumb, horny kid. Look at those nipples. They're already hard through the suit. Just know that suit. Right? And she kisses him, right? She kisses him and she's just like, ah, you dumb bitch. You didn't know. You didn't know I was going to poison your ass once we kissed. And then he pulls out what I can only conclude is scotch tape from his lips. And he's like, plastic lips don't work on your charms. And I'm just like, well, for one, you had this woman's tongue down your throat. There's no way the plastic lips did shit for that. But I guess, because this movie knows the logic behind it. When you jam your tongue down someone's throat, they technically still only touch the lips. That's fine by me. Yeah. And then she gets eaten by her fetus flytrap. We never hear from her again until like the fucking prison scene where she's eating a rose. And in essence, this is like the equivalent of watching Aquaman eat a fish. You know, it's like, yeah, fish are my friends and food. Like, and then we can only assume that like Freeze, like, you know, shanks her in the prison.
You know what?
He pulls a Ben Affleck.
Yeah.
He pulls a Ben Affleck.
She's like, ding, 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 ding.
He punches a wall with like a shape of an ice cube.
Dude, there's so many absurd things about this movie. Definitely a better Batmobile than we've ever had at any other point, because the Clitmobile does not count, I'm sorry.
I like the Clitmobile.
It really looks like a clit. I can't ignore that the Batman now has just like a bulging clitoris at the front of the car. It's a turbine. Where? Where? To where?
Where?
That fan blows outward.
He goes back. Yeah, he's teaching all the single men where it is.
God. No, that creates an unrealistic standard of where the clit might be. Can you imagine this fucker having sex for the first time, fingering his Batmobile Lego piece? While this woman's just like, what the fuck are you doing?
Just imagine a dude going down on the ground and going, just like the Batmobile, just like the Batmobile. What'd you say?
And then he finds it, right? He says, oh my god, I found it. I'm the world's greatest detective. And the girl leaves. The girl leaves. It's just such a great Batman movie, I swear to God. Like, Lego movies at least aware, and Iron Man sucks is hilarious. Batman not being able to commit it with his hero-villain relationship with the Joker, showing that Batman is afraid of commitment, was also hilarious. But this not so self-aware take on this is also amazing.
Mm-hmm.
Like Freeze with endless ice puns, man. I'm gonna kick some ice. What killed the dinosaurs? The Ice Age.
Especially the two guards that was like putting him in prison. Like they had like this whole pun back and forth thing. I was like, this is too much. It's too fucking much.
They're abusing him in what I can only assume is like Alcatraz prison.
Mhm.
Like they had a spotlight for this man. They kept this man. Why couldn't they just keep him in a cage? They were just like, nope, you get the freezer light over your head. This is all you get.
Do you know how much budget Arkham Asylum has? To keep
What?
this man caged and escorting him to his cell, they just pretty much had chains and a broken freezer. No, that was it. And you just see Mr. Freeze's head popping out of the freezer part.
Yeah, he's Mr. Freeze Selector at that point.
Yeah. And the brand of the freezer was still there, by the way.
Also,
Product
this,
placement.
this Predator
Amazing.
buddy was in the movie too, in a weird cameo. I'm like, that's Jesse Ventura.
Oh, that's cool.
Fuck off.
Yeah,
Wait, I
The
kind
guy-
of vaguely remember.
the guy with the big mustache.
Fuck.
Because one had an
Oh.
eye patch and the other guy had a mustache.
Wait, the one that was beating
Oh.
up Freeze.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Fuck.
That was Jesse Ventura, I didn't know that.
yeah.
Jesse the Body was beating Mr. Body up. Holy shit, that's so cool. Fuck. Wow. This movie's just endless amounts of fun, guys.
I
And you
wish-
gotta love how they had Arnold Schwarzenegger, and they even let him show a single muscle
Dude,
from his body.
they made Arnold Schwarzenegger act. in this
Yeah.
Whether or not he's a great actor is to be debated. That's whatever to you guys, right? But he didn't rely on his body for this one.
Yeah,
Joel Schumacher brings out the surprisingly best in actors you wouldn't expect to do certain things. He made Arnold Schwarzenegger actually act, and he also made Tommy Lee Jones an over-the-top campy bastard. Two things neither of these guys have done since. It's a great movie. It's a great movie. I'm just gonna say, alright? Schumacher obviously did what he could. He obviously put a lot of heart into the set design, at the very least. Very good set design. Weird. Obviously marketed for toys, but a great 90s commercial for toys at that.
Hell yeah.
And you guys abused this man verbally for like decades, and he even apologized for it. He didn't mean badly, and you guys shat on him like he killed your moms. You know? Like, not every director has more power than the studios. Joel Schumacher is one of them. But like, you guys really fucking put this guy through the ringer, and he didn't deserve it. So be nicer, guys. Joel Schumacher's dead. Joel Schumacher's dead. And Joel Schumacher helped create my childhood. Batman and Robin, through all of the ass kickings I went through myself. George Clooney's Batman was a light in my darkness at the time, and a lot of people are shitting on it for all the wrong. Well, it is what it is. But like, at the end of the day, it wasn't bad for all of us. And you guys shatting people behind it and like ruined a couple careers because of it. It's not what you think it is, but you know, if you don't like it, you could just keep that to yourself. You don't have to like spew shit into the ether.
Yeah.
Because at the end of the day, everyone who watches is a fucking nerd. And you shat on another nerd for making a nerd thing that you were probably bullied for when you were younger. So let's not forget that we're all just a couple of fucking nerds here, man. We're all just a bunch of fucking geeks who were never cool. We're still not cool. And you're making people feel like shit. So you're effectively becoming the bullies you were bullied by when you were children. Don't be assholes. And also, Batman and Robin was fucking great.
It is weird though that the only one whose career was really tarnished was Chris O'Donnell's, because everyone else was just fine by the end of the movie.
I think it's because like Chris O'Donnell, like he was really panned. He was like Robin was written quite whiny in this one, so.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And Chris O'Donnell was the smallest actor from all of them. He didn't have
Yeah.
like the most pull like Clooney did
Mhm.
or Arnold.
Actually, I think I wouldn't mind seeing him in more superhero movies.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know, DC or Marvel, if ever they want to pick him back up, then just take him away from Hawaii Five-O. Like,
You know what he would be great as?
Wait, was that
Peter Parker.
Yeah.
Like the original, like Chris Pine's Peter Parker, but like in real life.
Oh,
Oh, that's actually pretty good.
why
Yeah.
not?
Oh wait, sorry. Was it the CSI? Where was he from?
He's Hawaii Five-O. Wait,
No, he's not. He's not.
wait, no, no, not
NCIS?
it's not CSI. NCIS
NCIS.
Los Angeles.
One of them.
The one with P Diddy, right? Wait, no, the one with he's really buff.
Yeah, he was in that shark movie.
That's a lot of people, Joe.
No. He was like a chef in that shark movie. Like, he was one of the first rappers, and then he Deep Blue Sea.
Oh shit. Okay.
Yeah. I forgot his name. I'm sorry.
But yeah, he's in that show, and it took that show for his movie to be revived.
hmm Yeah, like I mean, obviously Arnold Schwarzenegger was just fine by the end of this because he's Schwarzenegger, and
He's Arnold Schwarzenegger.
yeah. I think Clooney had Ocean's 11 soon after, and then Uma Thurman had Kill Bill, so there's that.
Kill
Hmm.
William.
Yeah. I would have loved to be in the Batcave when Batman was putting them ice blades in his shoes. Like, I was like, why are you doing that? I like ice skating. Leave me alone.
Don't worry, I need this one day. Trust me.
We need to stay prepared. You'll never know when we'll need to skate.
If there's a 1% that could happen, we have to take it to an absolute.
But the-
If there's even a 1% chance this could happen, we have to take it as an absolute.
yeah.
We're criminals, Alfred. We've always been criminals.
But yeah, I think we've said everything we wanted to say. I know Seb has, because we've heard this for the 7th time in our lives, which is fine.
Enzo's been counting.
Yeah. It's like, oh my god, here we go again.
You see, he saw me. I was like, I put on my cap. I'm like, wake me up when it's done.
But yeah, if there's nothing else to point out, what would you rate this movie?
So, damn, not gonna lie.
And this will be on the internet forever.
I think I gave like Val Kilmer's like Batman Forever like 6. I'm giving this one an 8.5. Like, fuck it, I'm giving this one an 8.5. Because it's fun. It's a fun movie. Yeah, sure. Again, it was marketed as a serious movie, and majority of the time the set design is like meant for kids and they want to make toys. But you can't deny this is a fun movie. I watched this with my cousin preparing for this video, and she was loving it the entire fucking way. And I was like, right? It's not stupid. I mean, it's stupid,
But that's the point.
but it's like that's the point. And everybody did a great job. Sure, Robin's a little bit whiny. That's why I kind of deduct a little bit of points. But like, yo, this is probably what I like. I would love to see somebody revive this world again. Not gonna lie, I would love to see them revive this world again. I want to see neon paint on the fucking walls. I want to see outrageous bad guys with fucking crazy ass costumes again. And Batman, you could leave that out. It's fine. But other than that, yeah, it's an 8.5 for me. How about you, Ed?
Oh shit. 8. Fuck, it's forever now.
Yeah, it's a method. We like this movie. Fuck you, internet.
I think the only major complaints I have is like tone and like rewatchability. Because how often do I rewatch this movie? Not that often. If it's on Netflix, why not? I need a good laugh once in a while. But other
I'll
than
watch it
that,
with friends.
yeah,
with
yeah,
a
same
couple
here. But like seeing the tone go up and down like a fucking roller coaster, it's entertaining to say the least. But yeah, as for nothing else, this is a very unique movie. There is effort in this, believe it or not. You know, there's more effort in this than the previous Texas Chainsaw movie that we just did, our last video. That's for sure. But yeah, 8. Fuck it. The internet should remember me for that. That's fine.
Yeah.
Fuck you,
I mean,
internet.
the latest Texas Chainsaw Massacre was like a 3. We gave it like a 3. And
I
you
gave it a 2.
2.
Like, you're not even trying.
Yeah, it was that bad.
Yeah.
What you said?
It's a 9!
Oh my god. Alright.
Movie is a 9. The only thing wrong with it is the fucking marketing. They should have marketed this as a comedy, and if it was marketed as a comedy, would be one of the greatest fucking superhero films of all time. So good. They put nipples on the bat suit. Batman credit card. Batman credit card. Ah! It's so good.
I think I know what to get them for for Christmas.
A Batman credit
It's just
card.
it's just a fake ass credit card where it just says the Batman.
Please, I would appreciate it. It has to stay valid through forever.
Valid through forever.
Drummer goes all the way. He goes to like Union Bank. Like, can I please
I
have
go to Switzerland and like open up my secret account.
A drummer ends up like having me set for life monetarily just because he got me a fucking Batman credit card.
Man. But yeah.
Yeah, finish your statement, Seb.
Huh?
Finish
What?
your statement.
I'm just saying this is an amazing movie. And anyone who ever said it wasn't amazing is wrong and stupid. You should be ashamed of yourself because I'm ashamed of you. Like, it's a great... I will die on this hill. Like, I will be Jet Li at the end of the one, beating up the other people that claim to be the one. Like, this is how much I defend this movie and think it's great. It's such a great movie. It's brought me so much joy. And after you guys rewatching it, after the barrage of shit I've given you guys apparently 7 times, you enjoyed it too. And I'm sure that people who will give this movie a chance from a different perspective will understand what I'm talking about. It's not about great filmmaking. It's about the amount of fucking laughter and the number of fucking memes you can get out of this movie. It's hilarious. It is the Nickelback of movies.
That's a good thing or a bad thing, but like, yeah.
Why not? Why not?
Why not?
No, it is funny that with age comes perspective, and my perspective on this movie has changed a lot since then. And to the late great Joel Schumacher, he did bring a lot of effort into this, and I feel bad for all the shit he gotten over the years. So there's
Yeah.
that. You wanna close this out with something, John? Any words of
Prayer?
wisdom?
What do you want? A prayer?
No, you want words of wisdom? Any?
Words of... Why are you doing this to me?
You just want to end this in prayer in brightest day and blackest night?
No, I thought you looked like you were about to say something.
No! What the fuck?
Fine. But yeah, that has been our video on Batman and Robin with our scores cemented in stone forever. But that's
Yeah.
fine, because fuck you,
We're
internet.
gonna die on that hill. I
Yeah.
don't fucking care.
Alright, let's go. Did you
Dude,
like it?
we're gonna be like the 3 fucking Avengers, while like the entire world is Thanos. I don't fucking care.
It's not even the Black Order, it's just thousands of Thanoses.
But yeah, did you like this movie or did you like this movie? Apparently there's no in between. You can find us at facebook.com/geeksanddegenerates. We react to trailers, we stream games once in a while. Individually, you can find me at Yandalphus995 on Instagram and on Twitter. How about you guys?
Oh, you can find me at Jom GEOM on Instagram. It is my partner. How about you, Seb?
Personally, you can find me at Seb the Harmacist on Instagram. I also have Twitter that I don't use for much else other than fucking Wordle, and apparently my username is SebSoriana835. And you could find me streaming every day alongside my friends and podcasting there as well. At facebook.com/slurpmedia, SLURRP. On Slurp Media. You could see a bunch of other friends that are there as well. Ina, who's been on some of your videos. Gab, who I don't remember if he's been on any of your videos. Bud,
Friday.
who's an amazing editor. It creates all of her production stuff, is also on there. And a regular here on Geeks and Degenerates, Edwin, is also with us every now and then. The only issue is the time zone. But yes, you can catch me and all of those people at facebook.com/slurpmedia.
And as I found out yesterday, apparently my life revolves around watching movies and Dead by Daylight. So I just joined Slurp yesterday on a Dead by Daylight session. Fun was until he came back around.
Gago, gigil na gigil si Sep ah.
Oh my god, he's tunneling me! You fucking tunneling...
Tunneled!
fucking tunneling bitch! Seb, this is not personal, I'm sorry. It's very fun. The banter's amazing. You can find...
You guys can watch that on our page too.
Yeah.
It's still on there, so yeah.
Yeah, but if you want to hear John scream as well, you can find him at the Anga Tanga YouTube channel.
Romy, can I just do this, Jen? Please, Mom. I mean, Romy.
Mom! Please, Mom!
Whoa!
Oh!
No, because
Some
she's
sick fantasy going on there, bro!
It's
Wait till I know
right
Romy
there.
called him Mom.
So yeah, you have two channels with amazing banter and amazing gameplay from both perspectives. So check either one out and you'll have a great time laughing your ass off because John and I apparently say some funny shit. So you know. Apparently. But yeah, please continue to stay safe, wear a mask, social distance, and get vaccinated if you can, and get your booster for fuck's sake. And hopefully in a couple of months we'll be done, or a couple of weeks, who knows. But that's all the time we have for now. Again, these scores are cemented forever, and you guys have to live with that forever. But yeah,
I'm
see ya.
willing to!
No, I'm telling the audience, like, this is what you signed on to.
Yeah. Okay. Fair enough.
But yeah, that's all the time we have for now, folks. We'll see you on the next one. Bye.
Yeah.